It's Dr. Harris Live and Friends.
Dr. Harris Live and Friends.
You've tuned in to Dr. Harris Live and Friends with your host, Dr. Angela Harris, and today's co-host,
Sherry Harp.
Welcome our special guest, Mr. John Sanders. Today's topics, the 5th episode of Pan-Africanism. Today's topic is releasing and destroying of pain. We have a great show intended for you while we focus on rebuilding our Black nation one day at a time. Thank you for our sponsor, 2 new Vibe Custom Hats. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in to Dr. Harris Live.
Dr. Harris Live. Dr. Harris Live. Dr. Harris Live. Dr. Harris Live.
Hey, it's your girl, Dr. Harris Live. Today is July 28th, 2022, which happens to be my little sister's birthday. Happy birthday, Tosh. I love you. She's in Ohio. I said, I know you somewhere. She said, no, sis, this year, I'm just happy to be alive every day. So she said she's just chilling out. So I just want to give her shouts out on her 46th birthday, and her turning 46 means that in 24 days, I will be 49. We are literally almost 3 years apart. So I am so excited. It is Leo season. The lion, our claws are out. So don't mess with us, y'all. Just get ready. This month is going to be an amazing month coming up in August. There's a lot of great things going on. One of the things that I will mention is my book will be released. The Epiphany of Loving Myself, with the theme, When Did I Learn to Love Me? And the other authors that are writing in the book, I am so excited for them. It has been a journey writing this book. Everyone that has written in this book have had to really go back and rewrite their chapters several times, because sometimes we think that we're already there. We think that we've already arrived. But when a project is put in our face and we have to deal with us, we have to go in our own little space and realize, there's still some things that I still have to learn before I can finish this chapter. So I'm excited that the Most High used me as a tool to bring out the mission of teaching people how to really express on paper, when did I learn to love me? And if they hadn't learned, they've learned in the time that they've been writing this chapter. So we're a little bit behind, but on my birthday, August 21st, I am excited to have this book come out, The Epiphany of Loving Myself. And then also, we will be having on the 13th and 14th, we will be having our grand opening for our Drink to Live Health and Wellness Cafe. We did go ahead and extend that date due to some family issues that has happened, some deaths in the family, as well as, some other things. We extended that date out just so that we can give you our best. When Dr. Harris put her name on it, it has to be the best. I can't just do anything. So I would rather go ahead and postpone it, make it great, than to go ahead with it, and then it's not right. The other thing is, I want to apologize to everyone who tuned in at 4:30 today, because, when you have technical difficulties, but that is why, my show is the only show that is up and running at this point, because we are perfecting the station so that we can bring you onto the air without any problems. But we will, within the next few weeks, we will be taking shows, and we will be ready to take those shows. I'm really grateful for my team. Sometimes I can get a little frustrated, but I have to realize behind the scenes there is a theme or a word called team, and that teamwork makes the dream work, and love makes the difference. Everything does not always work out the way that you want it to, but it works out the way that it's supposed to. We have some very, very amazing guests in the building today. I brought back today to co-host with me my girl, Miss Terry Harp. Terry, how you doing today, beautiful?
I am doing great, Dr. Angela. Thanks for having me back. I'm so excited to be back. I had such a good time last time I was on with you, and I look forward to today to be just as fun and informative. And I learned so much last time. I look forward to learning again today. So thank you, beautiful Dr. Angela.
You are welcome, but thank you for coming on and actually being a co-host. See, the thing is that a lot of times the Most High will use other people to bring people shine because it's not all about you. It's not all about you. It's not all about you, but it's about us. It's about we, and that's what we talk about here on the Rebirth of the Black Nation show, which is Dr. Harris Live and Friends. And you know, we always bring people in to get their opinions and also to just balance the whole mission. Because what we have to understand is that every person is fearfully and wonderfully or uniquely made. So we're all going to bring something different to the table. But just like a puzzle, when you have many pieces, in order for the puzzle to be complete, you have to put that puzzle together. So that's what my theme is, and that's what my goal is for Dr. Harris Live and Friends. We will always bring someone on the show that will enhance the show so that we can give more than one opinion, more than one thought, and more than one piece of wisdom to our people. We give it to you conglomeratively because we are one. We love you so much, and there's nothing you can do about it. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to play some of our commercials really quick regarding our sponsor today, and then some of the events that we do have coming up. And once we have done that, next you will hear our guest, Mr. John Sanders.
2255 Custom Hats, the fashion statement of the century. All styles, all colors, all sizes, just for you. Get yours today. A 2255 Custom Hat, just for you. Go to Instagram at 2255 Custom Hats and get yours. Your fedora is a touch of class. It makes a confident statement, and most of all, a fashion statement. Treat yourself sometimes. You deserve a 2255 Custom Hat. Log on to www.2255customhats.com, www.2255customhats.com, and Instagram at 2255 Custom Hats. Get yours today. 2255 Custom Hats, the fashion statement of the century. All styles, all colors, all sizes, just for you. Get yours today. A 2255 Custom Hat, just for you. Go to Instagram at 2255 Custom Hats and get yours. Your fedora is a touch of class. It makes a confident statement, and most of all, a fashion statement. Treat yourself sometimes. You deserve a 2255 Custom Hat. Log on to www.2255customhats.com, www.2255customhats.com, and Instagram at 2255 Custom Hats. Get yours today.
And we are back here on Black I Am Radio. We will be listening to our little youngster, Mr. Ya, in a few seconds with Ya's Jungle. And then we have a couple little things that we're going to be doing on the show today. As you see, my voice is a little challenged, y'all. I slept in front of the fan the other day, something that I don't normally do, but our air conditioning, our actual air system actually went out, and we're just waiting for the parts to get it repaired. But until then, you know, it's hot outside. So you got to improvise. You know, when you have a house with 3 levels and the middle level's not working, you have to make sure that, you know, you're staying cool. So I slept under the fan, and now my voice is actually coming back. So I'm grateful for that. Sometimes, you know, I'll be thinking I'm getting signs from the Most High. Maybe it's for me to keep my mouth shut sometime. But I know that today is not the day for me to keep my mouth shut because I have to speak to you. So in the meantime and in between time, I'm going to let some other wisdom hit your ear, and that is with our special guest today, Mr. John Sanders. Mr. John Sanders, how are you today?
Oh, I am enthusiastic. I want to, first of all, thank you for inviting me. Am I looking to the right camera?
You are.
I am. But I want to thank you for inviting me to this dynamic studio. I'm excited about the discussion topic tonight, and I'm ready to get the party started.
You're ready to get that party started.
Get the party started.
All right. And you know what? It is a party. It's a party. It's a party. You know, anytime that people come together that are able to just basically get off on one another. Like when one hears something, then, you hear it in your ear, and then the next one can answer. It's a panel discussion. It's a panel discussion because it's very important for all of us to be able to get out the things that's so important to us. But that is also more even important, not just to us individually, but to our race as a whole. So we have some very, very amazing information today, and then we have some amazing thoughts. Until then, Terry, talk to us about some things that's been happening.
Well, we had an amazing weekend this weekend.
Yes, we did.
2255 Custom Hats had an event this weekend. It was fedoras, stilettos, and cigars. And Dr. Angela, did I see you there?
You did, girl.
I thought I saw you there. It was so much fun. The ladies, they look so beautiful in their stilettos and their hats, and the men look so dapper. They look like kings walking in there.
Absolutely.
But Dr. Angela's team, her PR team, they shut the building down. I mean, they must work really, really hard and play really, really hard. And they made me even think I could dance. And Dr. Angela, I missed the rhythm bug. I mean, I guess when the Lord created me, he said, well, Terry won't need the rhythm. But they were so much fun, I even thought I could dance. Did you have a good time?
I had an amazing time. And shouts out to Sheba, which you're going to hear her son, Ya's song, here very shortly. Sheba is like one of my dearest friends. She's from Florida. And I just said, Sheba had some stuff to get out this weekend. I don't know if she ain't danced in a long time. But when Sheba got up, her and that daggone Frank, oh my goodness, Frank is a PR, and Phoenix, and Nuevo was there, and Kathy Smith, and it was Deanna. It was like a lot of us. When we came in, the VIP sections opened up, and we filled it up, and we had a blast.
And we were at the Humidor, cigar bar and lounge on in Snellville.
Yes.
Shout out to Humidor. They were so gracious and so kind, and the staff is stellar. Food was so good. So, yeah, Dr. Angela, we really, really had a good time with 2255 Custom Hats on Saturday.
Yes, we did. It was so amazing. That is the commercial that you just seen. 2255 Custom Hats is our sponsor for today, and we are definitely giving them shouts out. I mean, when you seen all of those beautiful fedoras of all different shapes, sizes, and colors, it was like, wow. And it made us feel like when we walked in, it was like a royal palace with a different type of look, like a different type of royalty. And so it's really amazing. If you don't have a fedora, you need to go out and get one. Sometimes you gotta dare to be different. I never knew I was a hat person. I still don't know I'm a hat person, but I love to wear that hat. And then I had on a nice hat. It was actually a leopard print, and it was really, really nice. I had the little gold card, and then I had on my Black I Am outfit. The blue jean with the vest, and it was really nice. It was cool. And I know that Sheba, I talked to her not too long ago, and she said, we're gonna have to do this again. There was a lot of positive energy released in the room, and it's so crazy because I don't do cigars. I don't do no tobacco products or nothing, but I don't know why. I didn't even smell no cigars that day. That must have been because
they really have it. I think they have a real great ventilation system.
They have something because I didn't even think about it.
I didn't smell cigars either. I never smelled cigars either. So, but everyone had a smile on their face. And I don't care if you didn't know them, they would tell you hello
and how good you look.
Yes. I mean, you left there feeling like $1 million, didn't you?
Absolutely. And shout out to CL Davis, who is the actual owner of 2255 Custom Hats. This was his first event, and it was definitely a major success. So, it's so much going on, and you have so many people that have visions in their own way of what's supposed to be what. But when you can come together with your people and just have a great time, time with no confusion, no problems, nobody hating on each other, but everybody just showing love. And then the food was good too. So I had some salmon and some asparagus and some mixed vegetables with zucchini and stuff. It was really, really good. So everything, actually, it was a great night. It was a great night. And then I think what happened was people didn't want to go home when it was over with because everybody was staying around. Terry left early, a little bit early, but
I wanted to go home and watch my shows and stuff. But I still didn't leave until 1 a.m.
It was simply amazing.
1 a.m.
Yeah, and you left at 1 a.m. At 2:30, people were still there like it was 11 o'clock at night. So, when that energy is like that, it's like, oh, wow. Oh, wow. Yeah. So it's all good.
I'm ready to do it again.
Hey, we are going to do it again. It's going to be fun, too. It's going to be fun. We're going to put another little touch to it this time because, anytime that you do stuff, each time you add another little special touch to it. And so we thank God again for our sponsors. We know that, it takes people like other Black businesses to support Black businesses to create a masterpiece. So we want to give shouts out to anybody that comes in to sponsor our show. And we want to say thank you ahead of time just for being who you are. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and listen to Ya's Jungle. When we was talking about Sheba, her son Ya is a 10-year-old youngster. That's what she call him, youngster. But he's really amazing. He's an influencer at 10 years old through his music. So just listen to his words. And once we have done that, we will hear another commercial and we will come back and dig into our show.
Y'all know me talented.
Oh, yeah.
I know that it seems so hard. Keep on climbing, you will reach the top. Don't you stop and don't you give up until you reach the top. Then there's more to come. I know that it seems so hard. Keep on climbing, you will reach the top. Don't you stop and don't you give up until you reach the top. Then there's more to come. 1 + 1 = 2. My right, my left hand be so demanding. Sometimes I can't remember the answers. I'm getting frustrated. We're not that complicated. Stay focused, need more patience. Ask God for the mix of balance, the one that keep in this challenge. Full armor battle mission. Born with a nice clear vision. 3 days and have a purpose. My chest is so high pumping. My chest is strong, ready go. Distractions they come and go. Wicked enough, I do know. The serpent sir I will crush. I'm getting rest and no rush. Seems so hard. Keep on climbing, you will reach the top. Don't you stop and don't you give up until you reach the top. Then there's more to come. I know that it seems so hard. Keep on climbing, you will reach the top. Don't you stop and don't you give up until you reach the top. Then there's more to come. Run fast, run hard. Taekwondo car. Pull up, face up. Young kids stay tough. Toughen up tonight, give up. No doubt, mind grins up, mind chin up. Eyes open, mind open, ears open. Keep hoping. I can't make this stuff up. My will matter, seafood platter, DC diving, count back 10 feelings, now in peace, be still. Good Lord's real, what's the deal? Won't stay still, how I feel. Be thyself, and that's real. I know that it seems so hard. Keep on climbing, you will reach the top. Don't you stop and don't you give up until you reach the top. Then there's more to come. I know that it seems so hard. Keep on climbing, you will reach the top. Don't you stop and don't you give up until you reach the top. Then there's more to come.
Believe it or not, believe it or not, that song right there, when I need some encouragement, I turn on my 10-year-old godson song, because if you have a 10-year-old that is encouraging you, don't you stop and don't you give up until you reach the top. And if you just listen to the words that he's saying, it's really, really amazing. We will hear another song from Yah on down the line before the show is over, and it is really an encouraging song as well. At 10 years old, when you have our young kings, especially our young kings, out here with important and encouraging information through music, it's so important that you not only give them a pat on the back, but you continue to push them into their greatness. And he writes his own music. If you knew his story, which you will, because I'm going to bring him back on Dr. Harris Live, so that you can just see where y'all came from. You know, a lot of our children, what I realize is that when tragedies happen, everybody focuses on the adults' feelings, what the adult is going through. But what about our children? Our children, they really don't have the outlets that they need, because a lot of times we're so focused on what our needs are. And so, you know, when you have a testimony at a young age of how, you know, people wanted to write you off and said you couldn't do this and you couldn't do that, and you come back and say, you know, don't you stop and don't you give up until you reach the top, because you had to feed that to yourself, and your mom fed that into your spirit until you caught it. You know, that's very important. So I want to encourage all the parents out here. Make sure that you are encouraging your children. Make sure that you are allowing your children to be who they are, not who you want them to be, but keep it tame to the point that they don't lose the respect for their self, for the adults, and for the mission that they were born for. You know, it's hard out here. It's hard out here for the adults. So how do you think the children are feeling when it comes to this thing here called life? Well, we'll get on that topic another time. Until then, we are going to go back to Terry and let Terry tell us another thing that happened that she wants to talk about. And then we're going to be bringing our guests very shortly.
Well, I was telling Dr. Angela earlier, and this is the whole other spectrum of what I was talking about before. I am so excited because Black Love is back on, guys. I just think that it's such a good representation and such a wide range of different couples that they put on, that it gives us different things to think about. And this is the final episode, but they were talking about when they first met, what they went through, the struggles they go through, the triumphs they share together. And it's just so cool, because representation matters, and representation is everything. And it's just so cool to see our love represented in that way, to see them in their homes. I look at their body language, and I look at how they interact with each other. And my favorite part is how the wives or the women in their unions are always so impressed, and their husbands make them crack up all the time, because you're supposed to have fun in your relationships. So
Absolutely.
See them laugh like that. And so guys, catch it. It's on OWN and Hulu. Black Love is back for the 6th and final season.
Wow. You know what? This is so crazy, because I'd be thanking the Most High of how in tune I am without knowing that I'm in tune. For the last 5 years, when God gave me the Black I Am Awards 2 years later, or life, y'all gonna hear me talk about life, God, the Most High, it's all the same to me, because there's really only one. And the end result is that there's not a name that can take the place of the whole entire being. So, you know, a lot of us want to fight about the name. So when I say life, I'm talking about God. I'm talking about the Most High. I'm talking about the all-knowing, the omniscient, the one that, you know, sees and hears all, the one that gives us life each and every day. But let me get back to what I was saying. When I came up with the Black I Am Awards, this would be our going into our 7th year next year. And when I came up with the Black I Am Awards 2 years later, the Most High told me, there's another show that you have to do.
Wow.
And when I seen what it was, I'm like, wow. It was the Who's Who Black Love United Gala and Award Show.
Wow.
And the Who's Who Black Love United, and I'm gonna say something too. I see a lot of things that the Most High gave me that people have come to. And then the next thing you know, there's shows out about it, and there's different things that I see. And you know, and it's really amazing because I'm one to understand that as a visionary, every vision that I get is not for me to fulfill, but it's for me to put in an atmosphere, and for those who are responsible or that are, have the assignment to manifest those visions, you know, it gives them something to birth. So I'm okay with that. But the Who's Who Black Love United Gala, we honor Black matriarch and patriarch couples that have been married 25 years or more. We also honor Black love couples. Those are the ones that are couples. Most of them are married, but some of them are just starting out, and they're actually doing a lot of amazing things, developing a relationship. And in the midst of it, they're doing things in the community to help our community. I'm talking about our Black community. They're doing things that together, that shows the togetherness of our people. And then we also honor Black business couples, those who are in business together that came up with something, brought it to a conglomeration of what they both thought, and came up with a masterpiece, and that also still continues to pour into our people. So shouts out to all of the Black couples out there that have been together for over 25 years. Shouts out to the ones that are still making it, and shouts out to the ones that have businesses together. One thing that I don't encourage, and see, I might get some dings about this, but you know, like it was said, everybody has their own opinion, and I'm gonna give you mine. When you are in a situation and it's not bringing happiness, when you are not happy, that does not show love. So when you know that you have situations in your life that continues to hinder you from showing the love that you are on the inside, that's not the situation for you. Not saying that it's not for somebody else, it's just not the situation from you. I'm gonna leave that alone, but those who understand that it is important for our families to show our families that Black love do still exist. It is so important for us to understand that Black love is what actually builds our communities, because our family make up our communities. But before you can have Black love with someone else, you first have to have self-love. And that's what a lot of people lack, is that self-love. And so it causes division in relationships. And then, the relationships fail until people come together and learn how to love you first. So, with the rebirth of the Black nation, that's what we teach. That it's self-love first, then family love, the rebirthing of our families. Then our communities automatically change, because in our communities, when they change, it's because our families have changed. We have come back together. We have become stronger. We have the man, the head, the protector, the woman, the rib, the provider, the child, the seed, the manifestation. Once they see the man and the woman in order, the children mimic. Sometimes they stray, but eventually they come back to what they know. And so that's what we have to understand, that, a lot of things in our past, even with our family structure, one thing that we did have was Black love, and it still exists. It still exists. Contrary to popular belief, it does still exist. You just have to find the right one and make it work. So, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and bring in our guest. And he is an amazing soul. I'm going to let him do the joy of introducing himself and telling you who he is and what he does and how he does it and what he thinks, because what he thinks also matters. On our show, Dr. Harris Live, I always try to bring on a king, because everybody wants to put all the emphasis on the women. But I understand, and anybody out there has to understand, in order for a child to even be birthed, the seed has to first be planted. But let me go ahead and get off of that right now. We'll come back to that later as I introduce my guest, Mr. John Sanders.
Woo! That is. I literally have chills. Once again, I'm so honored to be here in the studio. I'm so honored to work in partnership with you. And I am totally in alignment with the vision, because the reality is without vision, people perish.
Absolutely.
And we have to have a vision for our community. We need to have a vision for our families. We need to have a vision for even our relationships, because like you mentioned before, Black love is the foundation of Black family, and Black family is the foundation of Black society. So I am in total alignment. My name is John Sanders. I live here in the Atlanta area. I also live in Ghana, so I travel between Atlanta and Ghana. I have a sociocultural anthropology background, so I've done, years of research in the community, working with communities. I've worked as a community liaison, working to empower the minds of our people, working to liberate the minds of our people, and also challenge a lot of our thinking patterns. So again, I'm in alignment with the vision here. I'm glad to work in partnership, and I'm really excited about what's to come.
I'm definitely excited as well because, see, the Most High knows my heart. And a lot of people that I meet, especially people from Africa, they always tell me that I'm more African than African women. And that's because of my views and how I look at things. Although, we can't always see the manifestation of what we think. As long as we continue to think it, eventually we'll see it. And so even if it's not in everybody's world, sometimes it takes us to see it in our world to move forward, to continue to spread the news, and then we see other people follow. And one thing that I understand, that as a leader, people will follow you whether you're right or wrong. So you have to be willing to lead people into the light. And a lot of times the light comes from just having an understanding of what the reality of a situation is. And so, John, tell us a little bit about this transition from here to Ghana, and what is that about?
Phenomenal question. So I have really been an advocate and a participant in the Pan-African ideology. Like, I believe that Black people on a global scale, we have to build transnational bridges between Black America and Africa. So that's always been an ideology that I've supported, because there's so much power in global Black power. The challenge that I had was not really having an actual infrastructure or program or a tangible thing to kind of plug the ideology into. So recently, I came in contact with someone who is now my mentor. He's building infrastructure. He purchased land. He's building infrastructure. He works with local communities. He was actually following a lot of the work that I did, but he knew that I didn't have an actual physical, tangible thing to plug people into. So now I'm working in partnership with an African-American man who's from the States, who also lives in Ghana. We're working in partnership together. We're acquiring land, we're building infrastructure, we're working with communities, and we're working to facilitate trade and economic development between Black America and Africa, because the bridge between Black America and Africa is the foundation of global Black power.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And John, I had one question, and it was so exciting to hear that you're in Ghana. But what was the biggest surprise for you? Because I know before you went, you probably had preconceived notions about how Ghana would be. But when you got to Ghana, what was your biggest surprise?
Well, from what I have, many surprises. So just to give you a context, I've been traveling since I was in college. So I've had the privilege to travel to over 20 countries. So usually before I travel to a place, I try to make sure I do the proper research so that, I can mitigate some of those surprises. But one thing that did surprise me was the growing African-American presence in Ghana.
Wow.
Because African-Americans are now starting to realize that we have a stake. We need to create our stake in Africa. But here's what shocked me. It wasn't the fact that you have a growing presence in Africa. What shocked me was the change in the ideology. African Americans are now starting to realize that we are a powerful group. And although we are descendants of slaves, we have a right and a claim and a stake in Ghana. What's happening now is the government zoned off an area in one of the regions, and now we're offering free land to African diaspora groups. That's us, right? So now you have a not only a growing presence, but you have a growing entrepreneurial presence. So you have African Americans that are building businesses, African Americans that are launching restaurants. There's one gentleman we're working with. He opened up his resort. He has a resort right on the beach. So he owns his land, so it's powerful because it's one thing to talk about Pan-Africanism and having a global Black identity, but it's another thing when we're actually putting when the wheels are actually in motion, So it was empowering to see our people organized in such a way where we're creating the type of reality we want to see.
And I noticed that Steve Harvey even is doing Family Feud in Africa. And producing it there. And he has really been very vocal about his new presence in Africa. I guess my other question is, do you think, or how long do you think it will be before we have a really accessible bridge from African Americans to Africa? Because I hear about it, but it's still kind of elusive. It's like I just don't know how to plug in. Or even if there was a simpler way, was just to visit and be connected that way.
Absolutely. That's a phenomenal question. See, we're actually now at the drawing board having these conversations. Remember, 10 years ago, we weren't even talking about this. Like 10 years ago, before, a lot of the social media, and it was really social media that was the driver of all of this, because before social media, we didn't really see images of what was happening in Africa. A lot of our content was coming from mainstream media that is very anti-Black, so they would project their own narrative, right? So we're actually now, as a community, we're at the drawing board talking about creating that bridge and like what it looks like in a tangible way. There is an entity that we're working in partnership with, or will work in partnership with. They're actually working to create infrastructure to facilitate this, right? So even though things aren't necessarily in place now, there are conversations that we weren't even having before. And I think that's something that should be celebrated because there's an ideological shift.
That's right. And when you shift your mind, then you shift your circumstance.
That's very true.
Absolutely. This is just so amazing because, now last year, you moved to Ghana. Last year, the Black I Am Awards, which I don't think that we talked, but I am the executive producer and founder of the Black I Am Awards, where I actually honor Black people all over the world. And last year, we chose Ghana as, some of the people that we honored. So we actually honored 2 females. Actually, one of them was a child, and she's an actor. And then we honored another one. She's a humanitarian, both from Ghana. And we gave them Black I Am Awards. So Black I Am is already ringing in Ghana. And so, it's so important that, it's a global network.
Absolutely.
Because when you look at our people, no matter where you go, you're going to find melanated people everywhere that you go. No matter what part of the world you're in, we exist. We are the majority. Quit lying, y'all, saying that we are the minority. Quit accepting that we are the minority. We're not. We are the majority. So make sure that, when people, first of all, we have to quit adopting the things that was not meant for us to adopt. We adopt what they say, and that's why we do what they do. Their plight, and when I say their, I mean, white America. I'm not talking about necessarily white people, because we do have some allies out here that really, really want to see us get to the next level. They weren't born in racism. They don't practice racism, and they're some of the ones that will definitely support us. However, when we are doing something as a people, we have to quit giving other people the authority to make decisions in everything that we do. It's a difference in allowing for someone to, want to see us win and, help us to get there by supporting and donating and things of that sort. But when it comes to the power, See, the thing is, we are some powerful people, but we operate powerless because of the things that we do and how we do it. And you know, you heard that saying, it ain't what you do, it's how you do it. A lot of times, when it comes to other people, we give them too much authority in things that we're supposed to take the authority over. We are supposed to run our own communities. We are supposed to have our own government. We are supposed to have our own police. Police our own people. And I'm not talking about with badges. I'm talking about, you know, these children when they're in these neighborhoods. You know, it used to be that when you go down the street, if you acting up, by the time you got home, you done got like 5 or 6 people that was on that tail to make sure that you understood you're wrong. Now you got it that we've been brainwashed and we've adopted this mentality that when we're out of order, when our children are out of order, then we accept, oh, you're going to go to jail for disciplining your child. I'm not talking about beating your children, but see, God says, spare the rod, spoil the child. And we have to take it back to what the original meaning is of family, and the original meaning is of community. See, these things cannot be manifested without us going back to the basics. And the basics are not just what your mama said and what your daddy said, because sometimes your mom was out of order, sometimes your dad was out of order. It just depends on how you were brought up. But there have always been those who have been mother and father figures, even outside of our original mothers and fathers, if we did not have that. And then
So I think, Dr. Angela, and I often think this, because we are descendants of villages, we just automatically, in our DNA, to form our own villages.
Absolutely.
Even now.
Yeah.
So we came from villages where there was a tribal leader and
Absolutely.
and the elders were respected. So even now that we find ourselves still creating villages.
go ahead.
Okay, great. You brought up so many powerful points, and like I said, I literally have chills because I can really just connect with a lot of the issues that you brought up. And another piece that I wanted to bring to the table was the systematic plot to destroy the black family, because black family is the foundation of society. And if you look at the integration policy that was implemented in the late 60s, let's examine the conditions of the black family before integration policy was passed in the late 60s, and the conditions of the black family before and after. So before integration policy was passed, 80% of black households were headed by black men, right?
Wow.
So you had a black man, because we understand the man's the head of the household, he's the leader, provider, protector. The woman comes under the man's covering. This is natural order, and children operate with a submissive spirit. 80% of black households, African American households, were headed by black men. So you had a mother and a father who lived, there were traditional family units. Now, after integration policy was passed, there was this push to integrate or mix into mainstream society. Like you look at, our wonderful trailblazer, who I respect so much, but she was also critiqued to a certain degree. You look at Rosa Parks. Rosa Parks fought to sit on the front of the white man's bus, and I certainly respect her effort. But the question is, what happened to the black bus companies? So the ideological shift happened when we were fighting to mix into mainstream society. Let's dissolve our own ideals, our own identities, dissolve our own communities to become a part of a larger infrastructure that really never worked for us, and an infrastructure that is really anti-black.
And you know what your proof is?
Mm-hmm.
The proof is the black church.
Yeah.
It's the only entity that remained just about African American.
Absolutely.
And it's the most powerful structure.
The most influential structure.
And influential structure in America, and I don't care what to say.
Mm-hmm.
Because they stay segregated.
Yeah.
Let me say this. I'm one that believes in getting back to the root of our issues. When we talk about the integration and things of that sort, integration started in slavery. Although, contrary to popular belief, that we were enslaved by other people first, you got to really get back to your history. Mm-hmm. But the part of it that became perverted is when we became enslaved by the other society of white America.
Yeah.
They were the ones that started mixing us because they were raping our black women. They were impregnating our black women that were slaves.
Yeah.
And then you had these mixed children that were running all over the world, lost, and don't even know where they came from.
But they say even today, because of that, because of the rape and the abuse from the slave owners, that the average African American, all these generations later, is still 40% European. Even now.
Well, what also depends on different pockets of the community, because according to African ancestry, the majority of African Americans are overwhelmingly African descent. Overwhelmingly African descent because of the segregation. Now, if you look at a country like Brazil had the largest influx of Africans outside of Africa traveling to the New World, but there was a systematic plot to biracialize or multiracialize the black community there. So although you had all of these black Africans traveling, or they were enslaved, then they were shipped to Brazil, only 6% of their population is fully black.
Wow. Absolutely.
The majority of their black population is now multiracial. They all look like Cardi B or Mariah Carey. They don't look like us, fully black people.
Right.
But see, what's happening now is they're promoting interracial marriage over black marriage. They're promoting love sees no color. They're promoting I'm colorblind, right? I'm, like I don't see color, right?
Right.
So there's no effort now, going back to the whole integration philosophy, there's no effort to say, wait a minute, we need to keep black alive. We need to make sure we keep our African genealogy alive.
Do you think that's the plan for America now?
Yes. And Dr. Umar Johnson also brought this up. He said there's an agenda to biracialize Black America, and this is no attack on any specific group. No. We all have love, but at the same time, we have to look at these systematic plots that were designed in the country of Brazil. And you can look it up on Google. They actually had there was a political effort. So if you were black, you had to procreate with a non-black person so that the next generation would be biracial. So if you look at rapper Drake, for example, Drake is biracial. His father's fully black. He married and procreated with a Jewish woman. We have rapper Drake. Now Drake, because of our programming, we believe light skin is better. We have colorist ideals, and we believe the white man's ice is colder. White women are prettier than black women. You have Drake, who's biracial. He procreates with a white woman, and that baby is blonde hair, blue eyes.
Sure is.
But most black men will tell me, no, love sees no color. I can date whoever I want to date, So when he gets to Hollywood, as soon as he elevates his social status, as soon as he climbs the social ladder, who does he marry? Our basketball players, football players, hip-hop artists. That means not only do we whiten the African gene, we also transfer the actors.
Evan Ross.
All of them.
I was looking at Evan the other day, and Evan Ross, his mom is the amazing Diana Ross. But Evan Ross,
I saw that. Yes, exactly.
Is a Caucasian man.
And Evan Ross is with a white woman.
And he's with Ashley Simpson. And they have a daughter with completely straight hair. And hazel eyes.
So you've completely eliminated the black gene.
And if she marries a Caucasian man, the black is gone.
It's gone. So, at what point do we as a community say, if there's a systematic plot to destroy black family, we have to respond by creating our own systematic plot to promote, prioritize, and preserve black family.
And let me say this, getting back to what I was speaking about before, where it originated at, when it comes to the creation of all of these mixtures. When we were being raped as women, as black women, by these slave owners, that, first of all, that's one of the things that we adopted, and even our men adopted. See, originally you didn't hear about black men and rape. You heard about slave masters and white men raping the black women. Now it has become a family issue because you have molestation, you have rape, you have all of these things within our black families. And we cannot ignore the things that we have adopted that we have to divorce. We have to divorce the mentality. We have to divorce the thought, and we have to divorce the action. That is why the Rebirth of the Black Nation is an accountability, responsibility, and action movement for black people of all nationalities and religions and ways of life to come together, first learning what? Self-love. Because in order for us to fix this mess that's out here, that you have to mix in order for it to be better. We first have to fix the minds of our people, the hearts of our people, and the hurt of our people. See, the thing is that hurt people hurt people. And hurt people don't think logically most times. So when you are in a hurting state, no matter if it's something from your childhood or if it's something in your adult that you have not gotten rid of and you carried it over into your adulthood, when that happens, it stops you from thinking logically. It stops you from moving into the manifestation of change. It stops you from really seeing the original issues, which is the root of our problems that we continue to ignore.
And sometimes people just don't know how.
They don't.
They just don't know how. And oftentimes people don't even know that's what they're going through. It's so deep in their subconscious, they just don't know how. And if they could do better, they would do better.
And that is the reason why we have to focus on the healing of our people before anything else. Everything has levels, right? But a person that's hurt, a person that has been raped by her father or her uncle or her cousin, and Junebug and them, or a person that has been rejected by their parents, or these are people that are hurt. And see, when I created the woman and the man in a box, I also created a heart exercise. Let me tell you a little bit about this heart exercise, because we have to get into the heart of our people. So the heart exercise says, the original heart says, oh, I had a baby. What did you feel when you had this baby? It's a responsibility. Oh, I want to love this baby. I want to nurture this baby. You're having mixed feelings because you're bringing a new life into this earth. But as that child starts to develop, you draw their heart. A lot of them are encountering a lot of heartache at a young age because the issues of the adults are being pressed into this child's mindset, the actions that's around them. These things are being pressed in these children at young ages. So before they can even develop their own personality, they've already adopted someone else's personality, and then it's a conflict between who they are and between the things that they've learned, that are learned behaviors, and then you have somebody that's really confused and messed up. It's not that these people really don't have a good heart or don't want to heal. It's there's so much that they don't understand that keeps them from growing, and it's traumatic. And that trauma keeps them from really growing and learning who they are individually in order for us as a people to come together collaboratively. Now, all of these different missions, and a lot of people are doing a lot of things, and they're saying black this, black that, and unity. Well, the Most High told me I had to build a hub. He said the hub is the place that's going to bring in, it's the no excuse zone, first of all. When you come into the hub understands that, first of all, we have issues that need to be addressed. That's learning how to heal from your past and love on yourself. Then the hub also understands that when it comes to our black families, that our black families have been dysfunctional for so long that we have to start one family at a time. We also understand that in order for the communities to heal, we first have to go back to what? Working on our families. So it really goes back to the structure of family. In order for us to really get to the place of really healing, we have to work on the structure of our families.
And sometimes we have to just give our folks grace. And just know and reckon with yourself that they did the best they knew at that time.
And
if
even
they did the best, just reckon with that and forgive them, put that hurt, to the side, and know that that's all they could do. You can't expect a bunny to be a camel. You just can't expect it. They can't give what they don't have. So when you realize your dad or your mom, I'm not talking about molestation or rape. That's just so traumatic. That should not happen at any level. But the other things that your family may do, or your mom or your dad may impose on your bloodline, they just may not know, and that may be the best they can do.
And that is absolutely true, Terry. But when it comes to, I'm talking about when you look at our families, right? And you go and you do statistics on our families and see a whole bunch of stuff. First of all, the statistics that they put out there is not true. Black love does still exist. Black family, there are marriages that are 50 years old. There's marriages that's 60 years old, and I'm a witness to some of them. So it's not like, that it's not out there. However, what I was saying about all of these different people when it comes to unity, we have to be with one agenda. And the agenda is to change what has went on that has kept us separated and work on loving self so that you can love somebody else. That's the first thing in the agenda. But what has happened over time is that we've tried to dive into the community, but we haven't dealt with the things that's the root of our issues first.
Doc, can I ask you a question, Doctor? Because you brought up so many phenomenal points, and it's so layered. And I really love the fact that your mission is to really excavate the layer and kind of get to the core of the issue, because if we don't deal with the root of the issue, you can never really change the outcome. So it's like you can keep plugging the branches, but you really have to get to the root. And that's self-love and self-actualization and really seeing yourself the way God sees you, the way God created you, and functioning in the fullness of that. So I mean, you brought up so many powerful points, but I have a question for you. Is it possible to empower Black society if they or to revive Black love if there's no structure, or if there are mixed messages that are being sent? And I'm gonna give you a prime example. Recently there was a viral video that went out, and someone had mentioned that this generation of women are being socialized to operate in more masculine energy. And this generation of, and I want to hear your thoughts, this generation of young men are being socialized to function in the feminine energy. And an example of that would be, you have women now that are paying for the date because she feels like she's the boss chick. You have men that live under the woman's roof, and now he's concerned. Now he's questioning why he's not being treated like a man, but he's living under her roof. You have women who are prioritizing, making money and being the provider and being the boss chick, while the guy is the stay-at-home dad. Is it possible to revive Black love and rebuild the Black family if there are different ideologies and philosophies being pushed? Like, what are your thoughts?
Well, my thoughts on that is, and I continue to speak of it. Actually, I'm going to be doing a conference, and I don't know exactly when it's going to be, but I really want it to be before the end of the year. The Most High gave it to me back in 2007, and He had me to cancel it, but He said delayed but not denied. Amen. And it's called the Divine Order of Family.
Yes.
See, the view that I have on family is a little bit different than most people. But when you look biblically, you look in the Quran and you look in the Torah, when it goes to that Proverbs 31 woman, let's go there, okay?
Yeah.
My view is the man, the head, the protector. The woman, the rib, the provider. The child, the seed, the manifestation. Let me break that down. Why do I say the man head, the protector? That does not mean that that man does not work. That does not mean that that man does not contribute. But what it means is that his main duty is to protect his family spiritually. To make sure that he has a personal relationship with the creator of all things, so that as his family is being developed, when things are not right, when things are in an uproar, he has the ability to go to the one that gives him life every day and petition the one that gives him life every single day to make things better for his family. Because as the head, see, the problem is this, and it's even in the church, it's even in a mosque, it's even in a synagogue. People get titles, but their titles don't fit up to what they're doing. It does not meet their character. It does not meet their actions. All they do is use a title for power. But the true title, when you're really walking in the title, it's an action movement. It's not just what you say that you are. It's what you show that you are. It's what you do that you are. And so the man that had the protector, I cannot have a man, especially with the call that's on my life. I can't have a man that can't pray for me. It's not going to work. I'm a living witness. It's not going to work. I can't have a man that...
They can't pray for you or won't pray for you.
Yeah,
But then,
I can't have a man that I have to do everything. That's not responsible for nothing. See, people got it twisted over time. And that's why they say the love of money is the root of all evil, not money itself. Because people put money in the position of taking over what somebody is supposed to do. What I mean by that is this. Just because you have money does not mean that you're not supposed to still do the things that a man is supposed to do. The woman, the rib, the provider. See, society got us screwed up because as women, I tell people all the time, women are some very, we could be a trip. I mean, they always want to put it on the man, but women can be a trip, and it's because it's been developed like that. Yes, it has come from the lack of responsibility at times of men. Like you said before, people only do what they know how to do.
yeah, true.
However, as a woman, you're the rib, you're the provider. What do you provide? When you had a baby and you put that baby up to your breast, you're providing food for that baby. When your baby was housed in your womb, you provided protection for that baby. When you rubbing your belly, you provided nurturing for that baby. And when that baby is birthed and becomes a child, you still have to nurture them, you still have to love them, you still have to protect them. But at the same time, you also have to do things like, what does it say about the virtuous woman? It says she got up in the morning, she cooked dinner or breakfast for her family, she made clothes, she did all these things. But she also treated her manservant and maidservant with kindness.
Yes.
She did not look down on them because of their position in life. And then it said that her children called her blessed. And it said the only thing that it said about that husband is that he sat at the gate of the elders. But that one thing that was said was more powerful than everything that she done. Because when you sit at the gate of the elders, what that means is you are spiritual protection. We have to have our families with spiritual protection as the head. It can't be someone that just walk around talking about, I'm the man, I got this and I got that. No, I'm the man. I'm gonna make sure I'm praying for you because even biblically, you've seen a lot of the women out doing a lot of work, walking with Jesus and all of that stuff. You've seen them doing a lot of the work. But they were also following the lead. And so if I can't follow your lead spiritually, then mentally, emotionally, and physically, eventually I'll become detached because you're not leading me properly.
And you're right, and that's the foundation of natural order. I think we have a society now, and I'm glad that you clarified that, because there's a lot of ambiguity and a lot of confusion about what is the purpose of the man? What is the purpose of the woman? I mean, we have a generation of young people who think that it's okay. And when I talk to young guys, I tell them it's not okay to live under a woman's roof and think that she's going to treat you or view you as the head of the household. It doesn't work that way. Men by nature are designed to provide structure and foundation for that family. This is the reason why God gave the man more testosterone. The reason why men are equipped with more muscle mass. The reason why men produce the sperm. We have the seed. So we're responsible for entering a relationship with the seed. We're responsible, and what is the seed? The seed is provision, having foundation, having a job, having a place to live, having security. Women by nature need to feel secure. In order for a woman to function in the fullness of her femininity, she needs to have a space where she feels secure. Hence, he has to be a protector. But I also believe that women have there's been a lot of ambiguity about what a woman is, so now you have women that are and I know because in my generation, people are having issues with relationships and everything, right? You have women that are promoting, I'm an independent woman. I'm a boss chick. I'm making all of this money. I have 5 cars and all of this stuff. And I'm not, there's not to be critical, but the question is, when a woman presents herself as an independent boss chick woman, I don't need a man, what type of energy, what type of male is going to be attracted to that? Is it possible for a man who operates in the fullness of his masculinity as the head, is he going to be attracted to that energy, or is he going to be attracted to a woman or go toward a woman who understands his headship? And like you mentioned before, men are responsible for providing that spiritual protection for the family.
Absolutely.
Is it possible for a man like that to go and pursue a woman who doesn't even respect him as the head? I mean, if we're talking about black love, this is the reason why black love is so compromised now. This is the reason why it's difficult to form black families, because the black man and the black woman aren't connecting, and we're not connecting maybe because we're operating out of alignment with natural order. So I'm so glad that you brought that up, because we need to establish a foundation here.
Let me dig back into this, because a lot of this is a society issue. And society has brainwashed women to think just because they have material things that makes them the head of something. That's not true. First of all, when you look at the virtuous woman, she did everything, but she never complained. She still did what she needed to do. And what has happened is, over time, that virtuous woman have been distorted by the visual of society and not the visual of origination. Originally, again, as I said previously, the man, he sat at the gate of the elders, which meant that he was spiritual protection. That's the only thing they mentioned, but that does not mean that that's the only thing that man done. That was just in that particular scripture of who can find a virtuous wife. It was geared towards the woman. But people have to understand, the reason that scripture was so important is because it showed the role of how many hats a woman will wear. It does not mean that you are, because it still showed her husband at the gate of the elders.
Absolutely.
So that means that there's a lot of misconceptions, and society has really won in that area of brainwashing. But then, not on top of that, that has also distorted the spiritual views of what a family really is, because a woman then, once a woman decided, Well, they came out with this system. They came out with the food stamps. They came out with Section 8, which kept the man out of the house. I mean, they did a whole bunch of other things. They did a whole bunch of other things. And that's what really started distorting our women. Because, first of all, we weren't independent. We just became dependent on that system. And that system brainwashed us to make us think that when we were coming out of the system, that we're supposed to leave the man out. That if you make all the money, then you have all the power.
Angela, another thing too, when those systems were put into place, it eliminated the woman's need to expect that from her man.
Absolutely.
And when expectations fall, and you're not expecting him to do it or believing he can do it, then he stops doing it because no one's expecting him to anyway.
And that right there, I totally agree with that. A lot. This is very. You brought up the food stamp welfare scenario that was implemented and how it took the black man out of the household. And I have a different perspective on it. For me, I believe. If a man was operating in the fullness of his masculinity, if he was operating as the leader, provider, protector, and when I say provider, financial provision, like men need to have money. Like a man can't be broke and pursue a woman. It doesn't. There's no way a woman's going to respect a man without money. This is nature, right? So if a man was operating in his natural role, right? Because everything in the world has a role. If a man functioned in that, why would a woman need welfare? Like, why would a woman even pursue welfare if he was functioning as the priest of the household? Was it the white man that pushed the black man out of the household, or did the black man allow himself to be pulled out of the household?
The prison system didn't even start until slavery ended.
Yeah, but I also...
And that was one way that was pre-designed to move the black man out of the home.
But I also believe that as a community, and I totally agree, and I'm not ignoring the a lot of those systematic systematic plots. But for me, I also believe that as a man, I want to encourage, the men
Other men, absolutely.
in our community to be responsible for some of our behaviors, because what's happening is I see a lot of people
excuses.
Blame the system, and I'm not ignoring the system, because there is a system of white supremacy. There are attacks. We understand the devil comes to kill, steal, and destroy, so he's going to attack you. But at what point do we say, no, I'm going to stand up as a man,
this is the point
in my
here.
rightful place, and take dominion? No, you're not going to come, and this is when you spoke about some of my surprises, some of the things that kind of shocked me in Ghana, the same philosophies even apply there. We blame the white man for colonizing the continent, but at what point does the black man stand up and say, no, we're building a defense around this continent, and you're not going to come in and destroy, you're not going to come in and exploit. We as men are the protectors.
Well, let me say this really quick.
Absolutely.
Let me say this really quick. One of the other issues, because when you go back to that virtuous woman, right? The whole plot of, or the whole, the meaning of that Proverbs 31 woman. When it said that man sat at the gate of the elders, right? Mm-hmm. That woman was plotting, she was doing cotton, making clothes. So in other words, they had their own businesses. And see, eventually, we got away from farming. We got away from raising our own animals, plants, vegetables, and all of those things. And we started working just like we were enslaved. We started working for others. And so that also started taking us away from our homes. And that's how the woman and the man were separated, because then a woman couldn't really get a job, a black woman anyway. She really couldn't go somewhere and just get a job. They looked at us as beneath. And even the black man, they were on the down scale of getting a job too, but when they had one, it was one that they had to work and slave so much for pennies. And then it took them away from the home, and now the woman has to do everything at the home, so the man is missing. So now the children are missing that man out of the home, the instruction, the authority, the masculinity of his voice, the look of his muscles, and everything that brought the formation of a whole unit. And so we have to rebirth.
Not to mention the frustrations he would bring back home with him that he could not release anywhere else.
Because he was being mistreated at the job and still treated as a slave, although he was working for pennies on a dollar. And then what happened after that, then it just went downhill from there. But what we're going to talk about at this point moving forward is how do we move this thing forward?
One thing I think we always have to remember that we are a team. You know, in your families, in your home, in your marriages, it's important to remember this is my teammate.
Absolutely.
We are a team. So that means if I don't want to get the water one day, I get it anyway because it benefits my team.
And I also think that, because you spoke about team, and I totally agree, and you also spoke about moving forward, what are the next steps in your foundation, which we're all in support of, is getting to the root issue, self-love. I also believe that self-love and self-actualization and self-empowerment should also be merged with structure. Because what happens is, if we look at what's being promoted in society, what's being promoted in mainstream society goes against natural order. So we can love ourselves, but if we don't clearly define what the natural function of a man is and what the natural function of a woman is it possible to rebuild black family if the black woman doesn't really understand what her natural assignment is? Is it possible to rebuild the black family if the man doesn't understand his assignment? I mean, we have guys that are looking for women to pay for the date.
Women, let me say this to the women. And I'm going to stick on this Proverbs 31 woman because it is so important that we understand that we have always, all of the things that we're doing now, we're supposed to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, from the very beginning. And it was not supposed to change your love, your respect, and your honor for your man. That never was not supposed to happen. But because of the tactics, like I talk about religious tactics, I talk about all of these things that continue to cause us to stray away from the reality of what we're really supposed to be doing. They're called tactics. See, religion is not a tactic. Religion just means that you have a belief something, you believe in something. Yeah. But religious tactics means that, I'm going to teach you this, and what I say is right, and this is what you follow. But it may not even be what's in the book. Yeah. It may not even be what's in the proof of what life is. And so this is what I want to say to the woman. Just because, see, when the seed is planted in us, it has always been our responsibility to comfort that seed, to grow that seed, to birth that seed, to love that seed, to nurture and nourish and feed that seed. And remember, these seeds can be a man or a woman. So all of the things that we have on our plate as women, just because society reversed that into something negative for you to feel like you don't need nobody, that is not order. What we have to do is get back to order. Order of understanding what real family is. Family is a faithful anointed ministry increasing the love of Yahweh. Those who don't know what Yahweh means is just a Hebrew word for the Most High or God or life or whatever the name is that you choose to use. But it's only one regardless of what you choose. And so when we understand that order has to take place, what is the order that needs to take place? Because we have to tear down and destroy not break, because anything that's broken can be put back together. I have to tell these pastors that. I have to tell these people this that keep on talking about breaking chains. Don't break my chain, destroy my chain. Because anything that's broken, if you put it back together, it can be stronger when you put it back together than it was before you broke it. But if you destroy it, it's no coming back. We have to destroy the mentality of accepting what society has said, look at the reality of what we really need to do as a people, and work at it. Work at it every single day. And I tell people, it's an accountability statement. The accountability statement is, if it is to be, it's up to me. Meaning this, you cannot focus and depend on other people. You have to focus and depend on what your part in the puzzle is. Because the puzzle is a big old huge puzzle. And there's a lot of pieces to it. But if you work on you to get you together, to walk in your purpose, to walk in the mission that you were created for, it's going to be contagious, because the puzzle can't be complete without it. So other pieces to the puzzle will start connecting to the mission. That's what the rebirth of the Black nation is all about. It's about connecting to the agenda, which the mission is for our people to unify. The agenda is showing us how to get started in that mission.
I have a question for John. And you're dating and out here. How do you feel, or has a woman ever offered to pay for your date? And how do you feel if that comes up? Do you think she should let you choose the place or where you going so you can afford it, or is it okay if she pays?
Okay, so this is my perspective, and you brought up, that's a phenomenal question. One, it is disrespectful for a woman to offer to pay for a date. A woman offering to pay, and this is me, because I believe in, gender roles, gender identity, right? I believe that men need to function as a man, right? And a man paying for the date is a sign of his masculinity. Men by nature are designed to be suppliers,
And his true interest in that woman too.
So men need to invest in. My pride comes in my ability to supply or provide something. That's the reason why men release sperm cells. We're suppliers.
Wow.
Now, women by nature are designed to cultivate and nurture the seed that I provide. So a man comes with a vision. He comes with resources. He comes with the raw material. Now, the woman's responsibility is to take that thing and bring life to it. So it's for a woman to offer to pay for the date would actually make me challenge my masculinity, because I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute, am I like why are you even doing this? You know what I mean? No woman who understands her natural feminine, who's in tune with her essence. If she's in tune with the essence of her femininity, she knows that her assignment is to receive, right? Women receive.
Wow.
Our bodies are built that way.
Yeah,
Wow.
exactly.
We are the receivers.
Exactly.
And
Wow.
you
That's
are the givers.
We give, right? And once the woman receives, then she functions. Now she can function right. And for me, I take pride in being the man. Stop taking that from me. This is the reason why we don't like the independent boss chicks. I can do all by myself. I don't need a man. Okay, well, where's my purpose? Even T.D. Jakes stated, he said, when a man, and I'm paraphrasing, he said, when a woman doesn't create space to allow that man to be the man, then what is his purpose?
What is his purpose?
What is his purpose?
I know when I'm on a date and if a man is paying for my meal, I don't care where we eat or what the price of the meal is. It's the feeling it gives me. Well, it makes me feel secure and makes me feel appreciated when he pays.
Okay, so
it's not conditional on how much it is.
Well,
it makes me feel protected.
Well, I'll tell young men, if you don't have money, your priority should not be dating. You need to make sure you have financial stability first, have money. See what they're telling women. Women are being socialized. Say, oh, I don't, he can just treat me to a $5, Happy Meal, and I'll be happy with that. No, a man needs to have stability and resources. or else we're not going to be taken seriously, right? This is the foundation of masculinity, and that's the reason why there are so many gender war issues now. It's because at the end of the day, money's power. Okay, so when you have a woman making $250,000 and a man's making $40,000, there's no way he can feel like the boss in that household when he isn't functioning the way he was designed to function. So it does matter where he takes her on a date.
When Bishop Jake said that, he said,
I agree with everything he
said. Yeah, whoever has the money is the boss.
That's the truth. Now people don't believe it, but it's the truth.
He said,
well, let me say this.
It's the boss.
It's the truth.
Let me say this.
That's why men need money.
Because
Yeah.
I agree. I agree. But I need you to help me with something, John, because the stuff that you're saying is very, very, it's very important. My views are, yes, the same. However, I also believe that, and I'm not talking about it just going out on a date now.
Yeah.
I'm talking about when you getting past date, going past that first date. Me, I'm a natural giver. And so when someone offers me to do things for me, that lets me see their heart from the beginning. Once I've seen their heart from the beginning, if there's something that needs to be done, I'm not going to go and say, oh, I need you to give me the money to get it done. I'm just going to go get it done.
Sure.
Because naturally, I feel like teamwork makes the dream work. However, I totally agree with you. When it comes to a point that a man now, he doesn't do anything for this woman, he always just sit there and receive, then you have to question what he really believes.
But we also have to question her. What type of woman? See, here's the thing. When women function in masculine energy, and remember, men have the sperm, women have the womb. Men are designed, like in order to impress a woman, a man needs to come to the table with a seed. What do you have to give? Women cannot function without the man establishing the foundation. Now, I understand, you said, okay, I like to give, give gifts or whatever, and that's fine, but we need to make sure.
No, I wasn't talking about giving gifts at all. That's not what I was saying.
Okay.
No, not gifts. That's not what I was saying. I mean, I don't mind giving a gift.
Okay.
Don't get it twisted. I mean, I would give, because I'm just a natural giver. I give to a stranger as well as anybody else. That's just me. But when it comes to, I'm saying, like, for instance, when you go out, the man, he paying for your date all, I mean, every time y'all go somewhere. That's cool. But there may be times that, for instance, your man might have a business.
Yeah.
There might be something that need to be done. You might need to go pick up something to help out. There's nothing wrong, to me, there's nothing wrong with you going into your pocket and paying for whatever it is and not even looking, but there's limits to that too.
Absolutely.
There's limits to that, because when you do, as a woman, when you continue to do too much, now he ain't putting no respect on it.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't gotta respect her. She gonna do everything.
Absolutely.
And then he started expecting all of that.
And now he becomes the feminine, he becomes the recipient, and she becomes the sperm giver. She supplies that seed. And that's how I want it. And we're pretty much saying the same thing.
Yes.
See, the man's the head, the woman's the help.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So the man's the head. So and you just validated that. You said the man has a business, which means he has a stability, he has a foundation, he has a seed, and then she supports, she helps the thing that he first established. But if the man doesn't have anything established, if the man doesn't have a job, what is she supposed to help? So the man comes first, and this is the reason why
I love help.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
But very feminine.
Exactly. So, a woman can only help the man who first established the foundation. The man builds the house, not the woman. The man. That's the reason why he gave us the muscles. Let us flex. The man builds the house.
He said, "Let us flex."
But the woman,
Love it.
she turns that house into a home. But a lot of men will attack me and say, "Oh, well, you're putting too much pressure on us," and yada yada yada. But the reality is this: if I don't have money or resources, if I don't have a foundation, I don't need to be dating. You know, men need to take some time away from dating and focus on getting his money together. Because see, once the woman starts making all of this money and he's not climbing the social ladder and he's not making any money, there's no way she's going to respect him. And that's the dilemma that we're in now. This is the reason why these women get into relationships and they pretty much boss the man around, because he doesn't have the foundation in place. He doesn't have a place to live. He doesn't he believes in 50-50, which I don't believe in 50-50. You know, he believes in 50-50. He believes in functioning in a way that women traditionally function in. And there's no way to rebuild the black family if we don't understand organic gender functions.
Wow.
Men and women are equal in value, but we don't share the same roles and responsibilities. If somebody broke into this house or broke into this spot, you are expecting us to, Brother Dick and me, to stand up and defend this joint.
Right
not
here.
the women on the front lines, the man who belongs on the front line.
Absolutely. I would sit right here.
And that is absolutely amazing that you say that, because see, we have to be reprogrammed, deprogrammed and reprogrammed.
Absolutely.
Or, you know, we have to divorce and rebirth. You know what I'm saying? We have to bring the rebirthing to our mindset. And that's so important because, see, I understand what you're talking about. Like me, I'm not going to go around, oh, I'm a boss chick, but I am a boss. You know, it was nothing that I chose. This is just something that was given to me. But I also understand that a man has to be able to bring to the table substance as well. In order for a woman that has had to, take the mission and what they call it, boss up, she also has to get to a place that when she's ready to receive a relationship, that she can come down and still allow for that man to be a man.
See, this is where we men this is where we're having the trouble. You have women now that are boss chicks and they use these terms, but see, that works in the boardroom, that works in business, that does not work when it comes to a relationship with a man. That doesn't work. See, that's not going to work with me. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, you know, I'm a man. You know, like when it comes to the structure of a family in a house, I'm the head, right? And this doesn't mean women should be oppressed and women don't have a voice or anything like that. It just means that there's a natural order. And men are going to gravitate to women where they feel their masculine energy is needed. So when a woman says, I'm independent, I don't need a man, well, I'm going to run away from her, and I'm going to align with the woman that appreciates that needs my energy.
Right.
And, you know, just like a woman, mothers want to feel needed. Like if I grew up saying, "Oh, mom, I don't," you know, like I remember one time, my mom was making dinner and she was just busy in the kitchen. She was sweating and I was in the kitchen trying to help her, and my mom was like, "Get out the way." I was like, "Mom, you know, like I want to help you. I see you sweating." Right? She was like, "No, I'm a mother. Let me do what I'm designed to do. You just sit back and watch the football game. Let me make the treats and do what I love to do as a woman. Let me flex my feminine energy.
Right.
You know, let me plant the flowers and bring life to the house." Right.
So what I'm hearing you say, John, is that we all need to learn how to flex our energy the right way.
Yes.
The men need to learn how to flex their muscles,
Yes.
not just because they got muscles, but what I mean by that, they need to learn how to flex their responsibility,
Yes.
their accountability of what a man really is. And a woman needs to learn how to flex her femininity.
Yeah.
See, the thing is that we automatically, because of life circumstances and things that's happening in this society, we automatically flex our breast out. You see what I'm saying? But we don't have to. We should not feel as women that we have to. That's the difference.
It reminds me of a time I was with one of my friends, and we were doing something in a gym, moving chairs, and I don't care what I'm doing at any time. If I try to do anything, if there's a man around, they gonna help me.
Absolutely.
So I don't care if the man can be 5 years old to 105. No matter where I am, a man in the room, they gonna help me.
Absolutely.
Because I'm so feminine. I feel very feminine energy.
Yeah.
And when the guys came over to help us, she said, "We got it." And I said,
She said that?
And I said, "No, we do not."
That's a learned behavior, Terry.
Exactly.
That is a learned behavior. You have to learn that these days.
Care if they were moving the chairs 2 inches.
Yeah.
We did not have it. They have it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And I'm still learning that, you know.
and get that help.
Yeah.
And increase, because whatever you feed, it grows.
Absolutely.
So if you feed
Wow.
your feminine energy grows. And sometimes they will come up and help and do it the wrong way.
Yeah.
Who cares? Still let them do it.
Yeah.
And then when they walk away, then you can put the ice cream,
Smart.
out of the sun.
I
I don't care where.
And you know what?
You
You know
don't
what?
know.
I used to hear often. You know what? You can at least make me think I'm the boss.
Exactly. There
All
you
the
go.
time.
You are the boss.
That's
But
why.
all you have to do is make me think that I'm the boss.
And let me
so that
feel
does
it.
not let me feel it.
Yeah.
So it does not demise my masculinity.
Exactly.
I understand that.
Because see, me, I would never go like one young lady I was talking. I mean, gorgeous. She gorgeous, right? But the way she presented herself, she was like, "Yeah, I'm a strong woman, and I'm a boss chick. I'm a CEO, and I'm just her." So like, why would a man
comfortable with that?
feel comfortable around that?
Right, men want to be needed.
Exactly. Like the only way that works is if it's homoerotic energy, right? And that's a different conversation. The only time
Wait a minute, break that down. Go back. Go back.
So anytime a man desires masculine energy is if it's homoerotic energy. I mean, you have men that do, and it's controversial, whether you agree with it or not. I mean, it is what it is. There are men who are masculine that want masculine energy. Either it's homoerotic energy, right, which is controversial, or maybe he wants a father figure or an uncle or whatever, right, which is a different conversation. But when a man is pursuing a woman, if he wants a relationship, a wife or girlfriend, he's looking for a woman who's the recipient. She's feminine, she's soft, she's sweet, she smiles. Women have a submissive spirit. That doesn't mean she's a doormat. Submission means come under the protection.
Absolutely.
That means come under my covering.
Absolutely.
I'm a coverer. Come under my covering.
You would be a great pastor.
Yeah. Say again.
Oftentimes, submissive power is governing power.
Women don't understand how powerful the women are. Actually, to be honest, women really have more of the power, because when a woman, think about how influential women are when they're feminine. They can make a man do anything. A man will do anything. When a woman's feminine,
every war, they say,
over women. You see?
Wow.
Let the man be a man, let the woman be a woman. And that doesn't mean a woman can't work, a woman can't start a business. That's not what I'm saying. And I'm not saying a woman shouldn't just do anything. Women function as the help, the man's the head. Man's the head, woman's the help. I built the house, she turns the house into a home. And that's teamwork. And
So let me ask you this, because we have a lot of blended relationships too. People that have already maybe have been married, it didn't work out, then they find this new helpmeet and all of these things. So when they already come together, they already both have certain establishments, right? To me, I feel like when a couple comes together like that, like he may have already a business and all of these things, the woman have a business and all of these, I feel like there's something that they should do as a joint effort from bring together two ideas, bringing it together as one, so that it actually starts to merger. Because what happens is when you are a man out there and you already got your own, you're a woman over here, you already have your own, but y'all are coming together. If y'all are not careful, everything will always be separate. There will never be a median. I'm talking about businessmen and women, the ones that have their own businesses, the ones that are doing things. I think it's important for them to come up with something, or one of them to give a suggestion, and they work together, that bring together something that they're both already doing, but bring it into a conglomerative effort, so that the division, so the division will come together.
And I totally agree with that. And this is just my perspective. As long as the infrastructure is put in place, there's head of the household is the man. Woman comes under the man's covering. Which means a woman submits to the man's headship. That doesn't mean an abuser. That doesn't mean a cheater that's going out acting like a right. That doesn't mean a controller or manipulator. A man See, we have to define what a man, because see, a lot of women, they get confused about this. A man is someone who leads, provides, protects. If you don't feel protected around him, if he doesn't provide anything, if he doesn't know how to lead, then he's not a man, right?
Absolutely.
So the business thing, the business thing is fine as long as there's an infrastructure put in place. And the man understands his natural function, the woman understands her natural function, and the kids operate with a submissive spirit, which means kids don't be talking back and acting crazy and acting like they run a household. See what I'm saying? Now we can rebuild the black society when there's foundation put in place.
And see, there's a lot of generational things that really have hindered us up until this point. But what I'm learning is, in order for things to change, if there's people that are around you that are out of order, you allow them to be out of order in their own space, not in your space.
Yeah.
Because there's always going to be rebellion some kind of way because of the plight that has been placed on our people. So in that rebellion, you have to make a decision. One thing that I am a firm believer about, when you learn how to love you, and then you learn what your purpose is and the mission that you were birthed for, sometimes you have to remove those, even those who you call quote unquote DNA, you have to remove them out of your space in order for you to move forward and know that if they're ever ready to get in order, eventually they'll catch up.
Absolutely.
You cannot allow for all of the poison to travel with you because the frequencies are always going to clash. And clashing does not bring unity. Clashing only brings more and more division. So you know if there's going to be a situation that causes division, and then you know that you're not only responsible for quote unquote your child or only responsible for quote unquote your sibling, you're responsible to a lot of individuals because that's your assignment. That's who the Creator made you to be. Sometimes you have to leave those behind until they are ready to catch up.
That's very true.
Does not give you the excuse to abuse me.
Absolutely. It doesn't give you the excuse to abuse me, and it does not give you the excuse to use me, and then it does not give you the excuse to hold me back.
Absolutely.
When I'm giving you everything to pull you forward.
Absolutely.
When you see these things happening, because even in the Bible, in the Quran, and even in the Torah, when you look at all of these books that people use as religious books, all of them say the same thing. That in the last days, there's going to be people that fighting mothers against daughters and all that. You see it right now.
we do see it.
You see all of this stuff right now. So you know that it was a prophecy that's actually, where it's a living prophecy. That's why black is an acronym. We are not black. We are melanated people. But because they use the negative stigma and developed us as the darkness, which darkness is supposed to be something negative and evil, that when the Creator gave me the acronym for black, which is beautiful, living ancestors, controlling kingdoms.
Wow.
Beautiful, because you have to be beautiful from the inside out. That means that you have to heal first. You're never going to be beautiful from the inside out if everything within you is so dark. You have to have a light in your tunnel that you can get through the end, and at the end is that light that's going to take you into your mission and your purpose in life. You're living every day that the Most High gives you life. You are alive. You have a chance to do better at what you didn't do the day before. Because the truth is, yesterday you can never get it back. Today is the only day that you are promised, so you need to do what you can. And tomorrow you got to hope to get there. Then, as an ancestor, there's always going to be, and you're always going to be an ancestor because someone will always come after you. So that means that you have a responsibility. You have a responsibility because a lot of people use ancestors, quote unquote. I'm just so sick of this. I've been talking about this a lot. People have to understand that there are evil ancestors. There are people that have done some really harsh things that has made your DNA, your line of DNA, is led them into a curse that's being shown every single day on your family. But when you realize what it is, that's when you have the responsibility to destroy that curse. But a lot of people don't want to take that responsibility.
And the power to do it.
And you have the power, because when it's shown to you because the power is in your hands to take control of it. And then when you control the kingdom around you, whatever your kingdom is, it first has to start with your home kingdom, right? So your first kingdom is your household. That kingdom, you have to know how to control that kingdom in order for you to control the kingdom that you're assigned to. And sometimes what happens is everybody want to control a lot of different things, but they don't want to take the responsibility and accountability of what they're really, really here to do. And that means that they're walking around with fictitious purpose. They telling people that this is who they are, but in all reality, there's nothing that shows that that's who they are. And this is one of the things as a people that we definitely have to change. When it comes to the order of family, it's so many things that has caused us pain over time. So we have to release and destroy our pain. A lot of our pain is not having the order of our families.
I totally agree, and I think in addition we have to be cautious of what's being promoted and the type of philosophies that are coming from, especially, and I'm gonna just say it, the Democratic Party and also liberals. Because see, when I talk to women who are more liberal, they don't believe in gender roles. They don't believe in, like, these are the type of women where, and I'm talking about right here in Atlanta. You try to open up the door for her, right? She gets offended, and now she starts calling me a misogynist. You see what I'm saying? This is the type of energy that we see in our generation, and that's why there's so much clashing. Because a real man, not a beta male, but a real man, he's going to be a man, right? But that means a real man's going to open up the door because that's just the essence of who he is. But when the woman fights him and calls him a misogynist, well, he's going to run from her. You see what I'm saying? So we have to look at what's being promoted, from TV and all these talk shows, and get back to the divine order, right? And you can look at our biology, and I tell young males this all the time. Anytime you get confused, ask yourself the question: who carries more muscle mass? Who has more testosterone? Who carries the sperm? There's a reason why God gave the man all of this equipment, these tools. It's because we have an assignment. The woman has an assignment, and once we understand our natural functions, then we can rebuild the black family and black love and black all of that stuff. Once there's a defined operation,
that's the root.
Listen to this. This shouts out, because how sometimes you can see your children and the way that they raise their children and things like that. So you might not be in total agreement with things, right? But one thing that I want to give shouts out to, I hear my daughter. Her son is 3 years old, right? And he's learning a lot of things. He's very intelligent, very gifted. He's probably been here a couple times before, like people say, because he's just that, he's there. But she's teaching him right now the difference between handsome and pretty.
Wow.
Because
that's so
now when you ask him, is mama pretty or is she handsome? He gonna say, are mama beautiful or is she handsome? Mama's beautiful. Mama's pretty. What are you? I'm handsome because I'm a boy.
There you go. There you go.
And these are the things that we have to embed in our children at a young age, especially with all of these gender confusions.
Oh my God. Woo. I'm glad you brought that
up. And so, I want to just, say that, sometimes you have to give shouts out to people when you see them teaching something that is something important.
Right.
You can always find something wrong with somebody do, but when you find the right things and you see people doing things right, you have to also give them a pat on the back and say, that's a great thing that you're teaching him. Because if you ask him, is AJ handsome or pretty, he gonna say, AJ is handsome because AJ is a boy.
There you are. Yeah.
What about mommy? Oh, mommy is pretty. She's beautiful.
Because she's a woman. Yeah. But see, this is what the mainstream hates. See, this type of rhetoric, if we were on CNN, this would be hate speech.
Right.
See, this spirit has come, and I don't want to get too, deep into this, but what the attack on the black society, the way you attack society is you destroy infrastructure, you destroy order.
Right.
So if you have
And truth.
oh my God, and truth, order and truth, right? So if you are teaching people you can choose your gender, or you're teaching a generation of boys that they can be girls simply because they feel like a girl inside, even though your biology dictates something completely different.
Right.
They're telling this generation of young people, you can literally choose your gender. So my question is, well, if I can choose my gender, then what happens when I have a couple glasses of wine and I feel like a bird? Right?
Right.
Can I fly off the roof then?
Same difference.
See, the reality is God created infrastructure. God created order, and what America wants to attack is order.
Right.
And
Wow.
you're totally right. God created two genders, man and woman. We have different functions, we have different operations, and we specialize in different things. Let's just keep it the way it's always been.
That's right.
And I want to say this. Shouts out to Dr. Nwani Whitty, who came up with the first gender-based specific diabetic natural supplement,
Nice.
which is called Sweet Calm.
Yeah.
Because see, another issue is over time, our hormonal systems have been compromised by these drugs that people take. You know, you have drugs that should be for the men and the women, but they just make the drug for either or. And then you don't know if a man's testosterone levels or hormonal levels are challenged by this drug because they're giving them medicine that's for the female.
Right.
See, there's a lot of things that we have to really look at and how society has they've done a lot of stuff. But guess what?
And the soy.
But all of that gives you boobs. And,
Yeah.
I mean, it's just so many things. But the main thing is when you learn how to release and destroy your pain, when you learn how to love yourself, when you learn how to put the things behind you and you're willing to learn the things that's really there to be in front of you for your future, for you to be your greatest self, for you to love on you so that you can love the next person.
That's right.
Even the parents cannot love their children wholeheartedly if they have not yet learned to love themselves.
Absolutely.
It's a fictitious love. And so my plight today is with the releasing and destroying of pain to make sure that you are focusing on putting those things behind you that has kept you from learning how to love you, from being the best person that you can be, learning your purpose, walking in it, standing in it, so that you can be called. You know, you can't be a catch and you can't be caught if you're not in position to be called.
Absolutely.
You can be played with, you can be exposed, but you can be vulnerable.
Right.
But when the fishing hook goes out there, the bait is what catches the fish.
Absolutely.
Right.
You're not going to be able to bite on that bait if you have not yet dealt with the love of you. It's very, very, very important.
Self-love.
And right now what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break and we're going to come back in closing with some words from my co-host, Miss Terry Harp, and our special guest today, Mr. John Sanders. This show has been simply amazing.
Yes, it is.
And if you would like to come on the show, you can reach out to us at blackiamnetwork@gmail.com. That is blackiamnetwork@gmail.com. Or you can call me directly, 404-944-8544, Dr. Angela Harris. And we will hear from Ya again, and then we're going to hear from Sir Gandhi, or we're going to hear from Sir Gandhi, which is My People. We're going to hear a few songs, and we're going to come back.
News, information, talk, discussion, solution, and the best music on the planet. You can find it all on Black I Am Radio. Black I Am Radio. Yes, you are
Bring the
here.
commercial.
Get ready, get ready. Get ready for one of the most influential weekends of 2022. Black People United presents Bosses Building Bosses. Saturday and Sunday, August 13th and 14th at 5595 Riverdale Road, College Park, Georgia. Featuring our Pan-African Initiative. Black Health is our wealth. Black Health is our wealth. Saturday and Sunday, August 13th and 14th. The grand opening Saturday kicks off at 3 p.m. Day one. Listen up from 3 p.m. until 5 p.m. Southside Atlanta, Saturday is going to be a full day of festivity. Starting with the Black People United kickoff of the Drink to Live and Wellness Cafe from 6 until 8 p.m. Then, our Health and Wellness panel begins at 8 p.m. from 8 until 11 p.m. We will have our official grand opening for Dr. Angela Harris's Health and Wellness line. Drink to live. Don't drink to die. Drink to live. And clinical research scientist and holistic health practitioner, Dr. Newmoney Whitty. It's a health and wellness paint and sip. Get ready. Live entertainment, prize giveaways, and more. On day 2, Sunday at 6 p.m. On day 2, it's our mental health awareness. Paint, heal, and sip. Dr. Angela Harris, the releasing and destroying of pain. Live entertainment, a segment on meditation and third eye chakra development. Our health and wellness paint and sip theme. Prizes, networking, and more. This entire weekend of events sponsored by Black I Am Radio. Your one-day ticket, $30, or 2-day for $50. All proceeds going to the Principles of Blackness Cultural and Wellness Academy. Get your tickets now at www.bossesbuildingbosses.eventbrite.com. www.bossesbuildingbosses.eventbrite.com. Saturday and Sunday, August 13th and 14th, beginning at 3 p.m. on Saturday and 6 p.m. on Sunday. Make plans to be at Bosses Building Bosses, the most influential weekend in 2022. 5595 Riverdale Road, College Park, Georgia. 2255 Custom Hats, the fashion statement of the century. All styles, all colors, all sizes, just for you. Get yours today. A 2255 Custom Hat, just for you. Go to Instagram at 2255 Custom Hats and get yours. Your fedora is a touch of class. It makes a confident statement. And most of all, a fashion statement. Treat yourself sometimes. You deserve a 2255 Custom Hat. Log on to www.2255customhats.com. www.2255customhats.com. And Instagram at 2255 Custom Hats. Get yours today.
And we are back here at Black I Am Radio on the Dr. Harris live show, rebirthing our Black nation one day at a time. It is so amazing, the show that we've had today. Our guests have been simply amazing. We've all had our own opinions about things, but the end result is that we agree on most things. And the one thing that we don't agree on is not something that we're going to fight about, but it's something that we're going to continue to research and continue to, just want to grow from. Because sometimes you hear things that you just don't know, until you hear them. And then it's your responsibility at that point to take what you heard and to apply it and to research, first to research it, and then if it is for you, then you apply it. So one thing that we all agreed on is that it is time for our people to heal. We have to get to the point that we are healing our people. We're healing our self first, family, community, which leads to our businesses being set up in our communities, which also leads to our financial freedom. But our overall focus in the rebirth of the Black nation is wealth. Wealth spiritually, wealth mentally, wealth intellectually, wealth physically, which is a double physical, because that also leads to our wealth monetarily. It is so important for our people to get to the point that we know, but not only that we know, but also that we go. We put our feet forward to do what's necessary in order to create this change worldwide. And so I'm gonna give some last words to my co-hosts, and then, matter of fact, I'm gonna give my last words to our guest, and then we'll bring it back to our co-host. Then we will end with a few songs and another commercial. So, John, tell us your views.
Okay, great. Yeah. So, for one, I just want to reiterate, I am really, really, really enjoying this because these conversations are so critical if we're committed to not only the development of our community, but the liberation of our people. And that's dealing with the deep-rooted internal issues. So to answer your question, my views, I am in total alignment. I believe that we can't rebuild the Black society if we don't understand the importance of family and the foundation of family. And we can't empower the Black family if we don't understand the importance of Black relationships. Black men understanding their assignment, Black women understanding their assignment, and we can't heal Black relationships if we don't love ourselves internally. So I'm excited about this movement, and I'm on board.
Absolutely. Amazing, amazing, amazing. And I just want you to know that your views are definitely amazing. Once somebody catch them as a man, it's going to help a lot of our families. So I want to tell you that I appreciate you for coming on to the show today. I know that you're in between here and Ghana, but the next time that you come back, we want to bring you back onto the show so that you can give us some more nuggets on the wisdom that's embedded inside of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And now to our co-host, Terry, give us some last views.
Well, the one view that kept popping in my mind was that seeds are so important. And we gave a lot of seeds, and I gained a lot of seeds. And one thing to keep in mind is that seeds sometimes don't grow overnight. You don't plant a seed out in your yard, the next day you have a complete rose bush.
Yes.
You have to water it and nurture it. And some seeds are planted, you don't even know they're planted, but they'll come to you when you need them. So it's important that we plant these seeds, and it's important we keep an open mind and keep a very fertile garden. Make sure our hearts are very fertile gardens so the right seeds can grow. So I think today was a really good session for us, and you gave me a lot of seeds, John, and of course Dr. Angela. Wow, mind blowing. I told Dr. Angela she was going to make me run around this studio if she kept on. So I'm just happy to be here, and I'm happy to receive those seeds, and hopefully you guys received a seed or two as well.
And what I want to say to everyone, be in position to receive, because it's not always what you give. A lot of times, in order for you to really be your best self, you have to be in position to receive.
Yeah.
And in order to receive, I'm not talking about receive any and everything, but in order for you to know what to receive, you first have to dig into yourself, learn who you are, learn what things have been built to destroy you so that you can overcome them, and then know that there's something greater to come as long as you understand who you are, whose you are, and what your purpose is here on this earthly realm. There's been so many things said today, but if you could take one thing, and apply it to yourself, then you're a greater person now than you were before you heard our show. I want you to know that I love you all, and there's nothing you can do about it. Well, no, I used to say that, but now there is something you can do about it. Learn how to love yourself. Heal. Release and destroy your pain so that you can not pass the pain to someone else, but pass the healing to someone else. As we heal, that's when things really, really start to change. And as we change, that's when we see the powerful people that the Most High has created us to be, and we can walk in that. Until next time, next Thursday at the same time, again, we apologize for being late, but it didn't take away from the power of the show. I just want you to know, to make sure that you always look in the mirror and try to figure that out before you try to figure someone else out. Thank you so much, and have a blessed and prosperous week.
Young kid vibing, nothing not a rapper, I can talk in the mic. Word up, if you don't know about words. R-E-A-D, that's the word. Truth is hidden in between these words. Words are cool, read them every day. Must know on my wall, I got something to say. L-O-Y-A-L-T-Y, P-O-W-E-R, fly. W-I-S-D-O-M, word talk every day, do you know them? K-N-O-W-L-E-D-G is the word that I heard in my sleep. If you don't know about words, you ain't heard. If you don't know about words, you ain't heard. If you don't know about words, you ain't heard. C-O-U-R-A-G-E, got it, won't be defeated, beat it, moonwalk on it, pop, lock it on it. C-R-E-A-T-I-V-E, that's me, it's y'all. If you don't know about words, you ain't heard. If you don't know about words, you ain't heard. If you don't know about words, you ain't heard.
My people. Like, I just want to help them. They going through so much. And it hurts to see them suffer. It hurts. But all I can do is pray. On my knees I pray, heartache weeping. Cause I know my people plight is on the very deep end. From disease, drugs, or the homeless needing. From prostitution to the jail cells overpacked with black men. To the younger generation disrespecting their elders. To us being too much of consumers and not developers. To us being puppet slaves in white America. No more loving our heritage, we lost our African character. To the debt we pay to our bill collectors, no sense of community. We fight, dislike and kill each other. The black man and woman are divided like we hate each other. No more educating ourselves, we just stop at the college professors. I hate to say it, but we lost our sight in who we are. We let the devil taint our subconscious mind with all of this poison. Now we floating down the river lost in this hopeless void. If nobody else won't speak and tell the truth, then I'm gonna make some noise. I pray for they saving, Father, the devil's a lie, so bastard taste my sword.